Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and the drama continues. But to me, nothing is as it seems. However, the official story is that Trump, reacting to Dmitry Medvedev's words, has ordered some hours ago nuclear submarines to be positioned closer to Russia. In my humble personal opinion, I feel there is much more to this story that we will probably ever be told. However, let's look into the official narrative because that's what they want you to think and to know. So first, let's look at Trump, what he is responding, answering the question, two questions actually from journalists regarding those nuclear submarines that he ordered, US submarines, of course, that he ordered to be repositioned closer towards Russia. Let's take a listen. Just few seconds video.
Where are the submarines being deployed? The nuclear
Say
submarines.
it?
Where are being deployed the nuclear submarines?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had to do that. We just have to be careful. And a threat was made, and we didn't think it was appropriate. So I have to be very careful. So I do that on the basis of safety for our people. A threat was made by a former president of Russia, and we're going to protect our people.
Mr. President,
Can you give us any more information on the nuclear subs? And what did Medvedev say to you that made you really mad?
Well, you just have to read what he said. He was talking about nuclear. When you talk about nuclear, we have to be prepared, and we're totally prepared.
So before we go to Medvedev and how that story was unfolding, let's read what Trump has put out, I think, on his Truth Social. It's right here. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be the one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So now let's look into Dmitry Medvedev and how that exchange of words was happening. This is from Hindustan Times. I'm not going to read you all of this because, of course, it's a little bit different approach to the current events, but it gives you a little bit of a timeline with this conversation. What Dmitry Medvedev said. The war of words began earlier this week when Trump, on his social media platform, called Russia's and India's economies dead. Medvedev fired back, accusing the US president of playing the ultimatum game. As you remember, Trump was saying that he gives Russia 50 days to settle the situation with Ukraine. Then he shortened it to, I think, 12 to 10 days while he was visiting Scotland. I think that was when he sat down with Starmer and he answered one of the questions about that. And he announced that shortening. So let's continue playing the ultimatum game and warning that Trump should remember that Russia is a formidable force. I think that's how you say it, formidable force. On Monday, Medvedev wrote on X, he, meaning Trump, should remember the formidable potential of our country. On Thursday, he escalated further by referencing the fabled dead hand. Trump returned fire by branding Medvedev the failed former president of Russia who thinks he's still president and warned he is entering very dangerous territory. Medvedev, Here is about that he was a president from Russia from 2008 to 2012. So guys, in my opinion, I think what they are presenting to us is just one side of the story, and there is a completely different story behind it. And I'm just not buying this narrative at all, at all. I'm just not. I think this is just, I really think this is just orchestrated for some reason. And one of those reasons is I think that Russia will very soon finish with this project Ukraine. And a lot of things might be escalating there. And on that note, for example, changing the government in Ukraine, that could be one of those things. Maybe next month or at the end of September, there is no more Zelensky, right? So let's look at Zelensky for a moment. I came across this video and I'm going to mute myself and just play this video as it goes. And then I will have a question for you, for my audience. This is from yesterday, when Zelensky, I think this was yesterday, when Zelensky was visiting the site that was in Kiev, the site of a Russian strike, that's what it says here, that killed 31 people and left 179 injured. Among the bodies pulled from the rubble was a 2-year-old and 4 other children. After Russia unleashed its deadliest attack on Ukraine's capital of Kiev in the last year, officials said Friday. So this was yesterday. I want to play this for you. You know, I question everything. I question absolutely everything. I question everything. Like I question Bucha, but I'm saying this probably was the real attack and Russia did it. What is the number of victims? What they say, everything I question. But let's look at this video and then I will have a question for you, everyone. And I'm not saying there were not victims and there was no attack. I'm not saying that. Let's just play it. A look at Zelensky visiting the site.
Що, я мешканець зруйнованого під'їзду, да? Ну чим, ну влада все нам допомагає, це якби непогано. Обіцянки, що допоможіть, будь ласка. Допоможіть.
Завтра зберуться міністри, зроблять дуже швидкі рішення, щоб вам допомогти. Ми не будемо чекати міста, я не хочу вас завантажувати в бюрократію. Я попросив завтра такому зустрітися, вони вже все підготували, що потрібно зробити, щоб у вас були і гроші, щоб ви розуміли, де жити, щоб була ясність. Я попросив, завтра вони зберуться, після цього доповідь буде мені, що конкретно, які кроки швидкі будуть зроблені.
Перший клас підемо. Нашу любиму школу там син вчився, вже буде поступати. 197 ліцей, да. Да, вже ліцей, да.
Вони нас дуже гоняють Запорізьке, вигнали з Києва, гонять. Куди нам
Все зробимо. Все зробимо, допоможемо.
All right, so let's analyze this video for a moment, just from my, again, very subjective, because it's my own perspective. Of course, we have to look at the Slava Ukraine. So this is subliminal messages right here, because they have to put it out there in this video. Of course, in that building, someone has painted this, and that building was destroyed. And again, I'm not saying no one died. Really, it's not my place to say that. You know, I don't like people being killed. I don't think it's the right thing. However, just pay attention to the details, guys. So we have this, right? You see it on the wall, Slava Ukraine, and the hands, of course. However, where was it? Right here. If they are so much about this, why they have not removed Cheburashka? Cheburashka is still hanging here, and Cheburashka is a very known, my favorite, by the way, Russian character for children stories, children books, that was banned in the West because it was called Russian propaganda. Cheburashka is still here. They should remove it because this is Russian propaganda here. But it was affected. This house has this toy there. It's horrific. I mean, this is whole situation. And then you see him saying here, believe me or not, I actually understand few words that he said. You can turn on the translation here. Some words in Ukrainian or Russian are very similar to Polish language. So he, paraphrasing, I understood this part that he said to the father of this little girl that he's gonna talk to, I think, one of his ministers, and they're gonna help them. And tomorrow he's gonna talk, and then they decide what steps they're gonna take, etc., etc. But when I was looking at him, coming to those photos of those victims and standing next to those flowers, I was thinking to myself, I don't know what is the number of people that have been dragged into those vans that he sent to the front line that died, that bodies were never released to their families because they don't want to pay the families the money they own, as that person was a soldier who died on the battlefield. So they are hiding the fact that many of those men, millions, I think definitely over 1 million, are dead. And here he is standing, acting as if he really cares about humans' life. So what else can I tell you, everyone? I think it's about time. There will be some changes. I really feel like there will be some changes. That escalation in that region is the hard word in English to say, is inevitable. I think I said it, because I believe Russia is coming to the final stage of this conflict in Ukraine, and that might include replacing that government with another one, and that might also include fully aware that there will be an inner opposition to it, right? So it won't go as easy as it normally doesn't go easy. You replace one government with another and things get rough. So as far as those submarines being repositioned, I don't know exactly what it is about. I'm not buying the official story. I think they want us to think that there is a conflict and there is an exchange of words, but something is behind it, guys. And I know many of you just believe as what media tells you, that's how you take it, but to me, it's not as it seems. On that note, since we are talking about Russian people, I came across a video that I want to play for you. This is not about the war. This is not tense. This is a little bit more lighthearted. However, it shows you, it presents to you what Russian people think as far as asking Russians what the main problem in America is. So what are the biggest problems in the United States? So let's play it. You will hear it in original language in Russian, but you will have the subtitles in English, so you can just read it.
What the main problems in America are.
Мексиканцы, мексиканцы.
Мигранты, здравоохранение и наркотики.
Больше всего, наверное, слишком много свободы. Из-за этого и вот это происходит то, что и наркотики Такие иммигранты, как бы факт. Америка свободная страна. Они кричат то, что мы свободные, но при этом они, не уважают, можно сказать, друг друга.
Иммиграция, жадность. Забыли про религию.
Наверное, это проблема с бездомными, потому что их там, правда, много. Вторая проблема – фастфуд, то, что они слишком много...
Кажется, у них нет проблем.
Наркотики, возможно, большая проблема там.
У них очень много бомжей, но вот проблем, наверное, да, с сильной пропагандой нетрадиционных ценностей.
Легализуется наркомания во многих регионах, тот же Портленд.
Я думаю, первая, самая основная – это недоверие к русским. У них нету Вайлдберриса пока что, но я думаю, однажды появится. Будем надеяться.
Sorry guys if this was not playing smoothly, because sometimes there is issue with internet access. But mainly what Russian people think is America's biggest problem is immigration, drugs, homelessness. Someone said greed. And let me read the comments, because comments are pretty cool here too. Someone said, these Russians know more about America than liberals. It's right here. And someone says, I'm an American and I so agree. So, what do you think? What is America's biggest problem? I would like to know your thoughts. And that's all I have for you today, everyone. I just want to say one more time before I end this video. In my opinion, nothing is as it seems. So I don't take anything anymore at the face value. I question absolutely everything, especially the narrative and the story, the official storyline that they are presenting to us, because we might never know what was the truth behind that. With this being said, all the links will be down below in the description box, so you can read it and look at it again. And let me know what you think about Zelensky visiting that site of those people who were killed. And it's not good. It's not good that anyone dies, doesn't matter which side. But, the innocent people always suffer the most. Isn't it the case? Thank you so much for watching, hitting thumbs up, sharing, subscribing, leaving comments down below. And to those of you who choose to support my work, you can always become the Patreon, local supporter, or simply donate on PayPal. There is an option of joining the membership of my channel as well. And if you have Instagram, follow me there. It's AniaK_44. With this being said, guys, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.